we tend to know exactly the difference between a good relationship and a bad relationship. I'm generalizing here, broad stroke, because maybe not everybody's really good at that. But so why do you think, this again, the last question, why do you think somebody will tend to stay with the bad relationship? And I'm not talking about just, guy girl, just friendships in general. Why do you think they tend to stay in that, even though they're aware that this is not healthy? Like, this isn't helping me. I keep feeling this kind of way when I'm with this person, or whatever the case may be. And or they have felt the good, like where you're at right now, where you're feeling people pouring back into you and you just not pouring. What do you think makes somebody want to lean and stay on those negative relationships versus getting the heck up out of there?
I think, and I can only, and this is one of those questions where I can only really speak for me and how I feel. Um, I'm always been the person of I really don't want to leave any man behind, or in this case, woman. And you've known even some of the struggles and things that I've gone with being a leader, and having people that are a part of what you're doing. My heart is that you get everything that God has for you. And I almost get frustrated sometimes because I'm like, I see it. I see so much potential. I see all the things that God could do through you. And one of the things about being a pastor and a shepherd is that God does reveal things to us to reveal to others. And he uses us as a messenger to be like, you know what, there's a calling, and there's something there's something on your life that God's trying to do right now. But for you to get that, you're gonna have to let this thing go. And for this thing to happen, you're going to have to release this thing. And so wanting people to be who God created them to be has always been my heart. And I just don't know how to give up on people. I even talk about that in Far Away. The hardest part of love is learning to let go. And that has always been what I've struggled with, is that I am called to love, unconditionally love one another. And unconditional love keeps no merits of wrong. Love does not continue to focus on all the negatives of the relationship. Unconditional love says, I love you in spite of all those things. I'm going to continue to love you. So I've always had it explained to me, though, that there's like different levels to the relationships that you have. And I'm going to try to use my hands to explain it. But you have your outer core, you have your inner core, and then you have your core. And the core are the people that are influencing you, that are speaking in your life, that are sharpening you, that are there for you. The inner core are the people that you directly want to influence. I think that in the inner circle, those are people that you're going to directly influence, that you're going to be able to have a voice in their life, but they're not going to have influence and a voice in your life. And so those are people you're trying to minister to, that you're trying to speak into life. And then you have your outer circle, which are people that you may come in contact with, that you may have a voice in their life, but you're not directly trying to do that. It's just Christ on the inside of you coming out of you. And so I've been trying to adapt to that mold, that not everybody has to be a part of my core. Not everybody has to be a part of my inner circle. But everyone can be a part of the circle. You might end up on the outer side, where I just, not intentionally, but unintentionally, I might be able to be a part of your life and impact you in a way that I can. But I've learned that, and you and I have talked about this, that you stay in those relationships too long, and they do affect you. They do affect your heart. They do affect how you process things, how you think about things. And so for me, I think it's the thing I struggle with is the leaving someone behind, knowing that God has a plan and purpose for your life, knowing that God has potential, that you have potential, that God's given you all these giftings and talents and things, and not being able to pull that out of you, seeing sparks of it, seeing spurts of it, seeing all the things that could be, but not really being able to be the one that helps put the puzzle together and whatnot. So I'm learning that, and especially in this season, that sometimes I have to be the one that comes and plants the seed. Sometimes I have to be the one that comes and waters the seed. And then there's sometimes that I get to come and be the one that gets to harvest it. And understanding where people are at in those seasons of life is where I'm trying to start to learning to identify.
is that right now you're not ready to hear what I have to say. So I'm just going to plant the seed and pray that God sends somebody else along that can water it or harvest it. And then sometimes there's some seeds that have already been planted, and I'm able to come along and water it and continue to help nurture that thing, but I may not still be the one that's going to really pull it out of you. And then there's also the people that, man, other people really laid the groundwork, and now I get to be the one that helps you put all together and really get you to see it full circle, big picture, that God loves you, that God cares about you, that he has a plan and a purpose for your life. And so that's kind of, for me, is the hard part for me, is the leaving no man behind type syndrome of I want to see you succeed.